All right, we are live for the On the Hunt podcast, episode 54. That's right, episode 54 of this podcast. And I have got two of my three counterparts with me. No Reggie Funches tonight, but we do have the number one Lions fan, Mr. Bobby Bless. And we also have the defensive coordinator, Nate Rucker. That's right. So I do want to say a good evening to both of the fellas. We'll start with Bobby. Bobby, how's it going?
Man, just a typical you know, fall, almost winter, waiting on Thanksgiving kind of week, man. Nothing special, but the Lions 7-2. That's the only thing special going on right now. And I brought me a new hat, so that's always a
I
special
seen
one.
that. That hat is nice.
Crispy. Yes, it is.
Nathaniel, how's it going, my friend?
No saying my government name across the airways. Man, it's good. Like I say, it ain't Victory Monday, but it's Victory Tuesday. So, hey, man, but life is lifing right now. But hey, we able here to do our show, so I'm good.
So before we get to the Detroit Lions information, I want to take a quick second here because, as y'all know, On the Hunt podcast is a part of my studio, Elijah Winfrey Studios, and we make movies. And we're hoping maybe to make some movies with you, okay? We have got a horror film that we're going to be working on, hopefully next year, but we are starting the audition process for it. I'm going to grab the script for it right here. Not going to read anything from it, but I just want to show you the cover. Fourth Coast Killer. That is the title of this. It is a slasher film. If you want to kind of think about what movies this might be like, if we can pull this off, it's going to kind of be like Zodiac meets Halloween or Zodiac meets Friday the 13th. So that's kind of what we're trying to do with this thing. But we're going to be starting public auditions for this in January of 2024. And I'm letting you know about it now because if you're interested in auditioning, get a hold of us. Okay, get a hold of us. You don't have to wait till January. You can go ahead and get a hold of us now. We'll put you on the list. That way, when January comes, we can come talk with you and say, hey, you said you wanted to audition. Let's get you all set up. Again, I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to have a role in the movie because I like to try to do things as fair as possible. But what I can tell you is if you want to audition, get a hold of us. We'll get you on that list. Okay. But again, Fourth Coast Killer, the next big production from Elijah Winfrey Studios.
In other words, if your family members have told you leave acting alone and you suck, then you really suck. So, there is no biasness. If somebody told you sucked a lot of times your whole life, then don't be mad if you don't get the part because it says, hey, I'm going to kill you. And you said, I'm going to kill you. Then no, you're not going to get the part.
Unless you're a puppet for Jeff Dunham, in which case you probably nailed it. But hey, I'm hoping to have.
But doesn't that cause them to for you to put your hand up their ass or their back or something?
Hey, now,
Oh my God.
PG-13, PG-13.
Move your mouth like a puppet. Move your mouth like a puppet.
Anyway, hey, for folks who are tuning in right now, I promise this is not what the show is going to be about. Make sure to like this video for us, leave a comment, and subscribe. If you didn't hear last week, YouTube changed the way they do things. Now, once you hit 500 subscribers, you get to start doing the whole monetized thing, which I'm not saying that we love commercials or anything, but it helps us make this show better, okay? So if you were in support of that, we've talked about wanting to do live events out in Detroit, take a bar over, do Lions trivia one night, or, get out there in the community, that sort of thing. If you want to support us in that effort, one way to do it, and it costs you nothing, is to subscribe. Because right now, as I'm looking, we have got 473 subscribers. So it's not like it's a far stretch for us to get to 500. We're looking for your help, though. So hit that subscribe button for us. With that being said, hey, let's get into the Lions talk. We're going to start off with the defense. Let's just dive right into the thing that a lot of people are talking about right now, the defense. I'm going to go first on this, and then I want to toss it over to Bobby. Bobby, you're going to toss it over to Nate, okay? So here's my view on the defense, all right? It very much felt like an arena football game that I was watching as the Lions were playing the Chargers because it seemed like first team to 50 wins, all right? But what I will say about that is maybe don't be so hard on Aaron Glenn, because I don't think it was a flaw in the system. Here's what I mean by that. Where have we made our money, so to speak, on defense? Stopping the run. The leading rusher for the Chargers had 67 yards rushing. The entire team for the Chargers had 98. So we yet again held a team to under 100 yards rushing. Now, a lot of people, that's not going to be good enough because they're going to look at all the passing stats. But again, our defense this season has never been that great against the pass. It's the rushing attack that we do a good job of stopping. Passing is something we're still working on. And I will say, too, because I know this is a point of emphasis for Bobby, you know, it helps the other team when people are able to hold Aiden, which, by the way, is going to be the name of a new Hallmark Christmas movie coming up this Christmas.
Man.
Holding Aiden. That's right. It's a story about a young man who's from Detroit, just trying to make it, and he keeps getting love and affection from everybody in the league because this man gets more hugs than anybody I know. I'm just saying. But let me toss it over to Bobby. Bobby, first and foremost, my friend, your thoughts on the defense. Second question, your thoughts on the stat that I threw out there that while, yes, we gave up over 300 yards passing, we still held them to under 100 yards rushing. What do you think, Bobby?
As we talked about last week, man, we already knew. Well, if you watched the On the Hunt podcast last week, like you were supposed to, we told you that Keenan Allen was going to be a problem out there. And so the things he was doing, it was no surprise to me, man. It's just, that's Keenan Allen do that to everybody. That's why he Keenan Allen. So I'm not really like, as far as the pass, I'm not surprised, only disappointed in the results, but not as far as like, man, like I was disappointed with how we played against Baltimore, letting our defense played against them. But I wasn't necessarily that, because we knew what Herbert was going to do. We knew he was going to throw. We know we lacking pass rush. We know we're not getting them 8 calls. So that kind of stuff happened. But the thing is that we were losing these shootouts because we wasn't going point for point with these guys. We had our little spurts in our little dry times in our offense and whatnot. So I was pleasantly surprised to see in this shootout, we matching them point for point. And then also, even though they obviously were getting burnt, listen, ain't no way about it. They was getting burnt. They wasn't like arguing with each other, like understanding why, you know what I mean? You know how, pointing people out, calling them out, showing them up and stuff. They wasn't doing that. So it wasn't like a break of coverage. It's just that we lacking the ability to get to the quarterback gives more time to Herbert. And Herbert has a strong enough arm to make all the throws. So I feel like I was telling you earlier in our planning session, if we getting a yellow flag for holding, we getting pass rush. You know what I mean? We getting sacks. Even though we not knocking down the quarterback or getting the quarterback to the ground, every time that yellow flag hit the ground, that's like a quarterback sack if you holding the pass rushers. So it's just getting very, very hard to watch Aiden Hutchinson going one way, getting his jersey pulled the other way time after time after time. So I'm not going to really go into the defense. Of course, obviously, we want them to play better. But if everybody know me, if I was really mad at the defense, I would cook their ass. But I'm not, because I'm not, because I feel like they're getting the kind of short end of the stick on the penalties. They not calling holding on Ayton, but they calling every little touch on them damn receivers. So it's just like we can't win like that. So hopefully our time is due to get some of these flags that we really, really deserve. And that's really the difference. That's really the difference to me in those big plays, explosive plays, is the Aiden Hutchinson getting held and not getting called. So that's about it for the defense, big dog.
Nate.
It's, first of all, people need to realize if they have not, you put some respect on Kellen Moore's name. Kellen Moore is a great offensive coordinator. He was that with Dallas. He's still that. If he got weapons, he's easily top 5 offensive coordinators in the league, along with him and Ben Johnson. So when these guys get in the groove, it's a chess match. And it's not like he didn't make any adjustments. At first, they started the game out with a shell defense. It got them the lead, first quarter, we had them on the wraps. Then they started to attack. So he got away from the shell defense, and then he went to a man defense. So what he did was he counteracted that with a lot of slants, a lot of crossing routes to create confusion to get Keenan Allen open. So again, it's truly about scheming to get your guy open. And I told everybody, in the beginning, also that the Chargers were number 4 in the league in red zone efficiency. They're number 4, 64% in the league. So I mean, you do what you can. You try to limit the big plays, which they tried. They made sure to do what we do last year. One of the biggest things we talked about was the running game. How every running back, every time we were scared about running backs just running all over us and completely dogging us. Mm-hmm. We were worried about tight ends annihilating our linebackers. We haven't had that. So it's just one of those things where we're not a complete defense yet. But again, it's not Aaron Glenn's fault. Like, people, you can't, like, I've seen people talking about getting exposed. First of all, Keenan Allen had one game this year where he had 16 receptions.
Yeah, man, he a beast.
It
don't really get too harder than him, man. Right. They don't really get too harder.
When you think about it, when you are an elite offense, we'll say an elite offense, which they are. First of all, you have your piece. You have your quarterback. Then your second level, you have your running back. Your third level, you have a top wide receiver. And then you have a very good offensive line. Like, their line isn't as good as ours, but Justin Herbert makes that line better because of how strong his arm is. Mm-hmm. Like, even the plays where our defensive backs were swiping at the ball, he throws that ball so hard where it was half a seconds away. But again, that's what happens. But at the end of the day, we got the lead. We kept it. They kept trying to come back. We kept scoring, and we got the win. So, again, it's any given Sunday. Remember, we lost games last year scoring 38, 35 points, and we're still losing.
And we talked. Yeah, we won the shootout finally, for real.
Yeah, so you won the shootout, and also people, as I said earlier on our Facebook page, y'all better start putting some respect on Dan Campbell's name. He just don't go for these fourth downs for nothing. It just ain't
with no
emotionally
plan.
Based. See, So like on Good Morning Football, they was talking about it, and they talked about why they totally dislike Brandon Staley, who goes for it fourth down more than the Lions does, versus Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
And what they said, this was Marcus Spears, all of them. They said the difference is, one is a calculator boy. So he's going to look at the analytics and say, hey, well, the stats say that this is a good area to go for it, so we're going to go for it. Yeah. Where Dan Campbell is going to assess the play from a player's point of view. He's going to look at the momentum. He's going to look at what this is going to do for the team. He's going to look at the cause, the effect, from a player's standpoint, which is why everybody in the league has so much respect for Dan Campbell, because he's that good. I told y'all, he ain't no Madden coach. Y'all better leave my coach alone. Better leave my coach alone.
So let's talk about the fourth downs for a moment. Obviously, Nate just kind of gave you his opinion. Here was my thoughts on it. I'm going to focus on the fourth down, that ended up winning the game for us. Okay, I want to focus on.
Well, remember, he went for it majority of the time on these fourth downs because he said they were in the groove too.
Yeah.
He knew the Chargers was in the groove.
Yeah.
So y'all cannot stop my offense.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, we got 4 downs to get a first. So, Ben Johnson, do what you do. We're going to go for it. Now, the plays that he called on fourth down and the trust that he has in Jaredgoff is like, I think last year we lost 4 games where he would go for it and like Jaredgoff would be just off. I think we lost to Minnesota. We lost to Philly like that. We lost, a couple of guys like that where the pass would just miss or something. But it's like, hey, they can't stop y'all right now. This ain't a knock on my defense, but we got to keep scoring, so we going to keep the pressure on them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I know y'all can't stop my team. Guys, go get my first.
So here are my thoughts on that. Okay, for me as a Lions fan, we talk a lot about having PTLD, right? So for me as a Lions fan, I thought back to a game in Lambeau. I believe it was Monday Night Football. If I'm not mistaken, Stafford was the quarterback. And Green Bay had the ball. They got a first down. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was a phantom penalty that gave them the first down. And it was actually against a defender who didn't do what they said he did. And it was very clear that he didn't do it. And it was one of those things where because of the penalty, they were able just to run a couple plays and kick the dang field goal. And so for me, it was cool to see the Lions on the winning end of a scenario like that. Granted, it wasn't a penalty that gave us a first down. It was us making it. But still, being in that position where it's like, we can legitimately run this thing down to 2 seconds, call a timeout, kick the field goal, and get the hell out of here with a victory. That, to me, shows how far our team has come. Because that, in many other years, would have been a Lions loss where we talked about so close, but no cigar. And so for me, I love that. Now, I said on last year's program, all right, you don't got to go back for it because I'm going to repeat what I said back then. When I was coaching, because I did actually coach, not just in Madden, but when I was actually coaching semi-professional football, I had it on my sheet that if we were at the opponent's 40 or better, I was going for it. And it wasn't like an analytics thing because we couldn't afford analytics in the semi-professional team that I was coaching. It was just a gut feeling. Now, did I always go with that gut feeling? No. But for the most part, I would see it be 4th and 4 or whatever. We were running a triple option offense, by the way, just so you can kind of picture what I'm talking about. We would run the triple option out of shotgun. That's how we did it. But anyway, I knew running the ball, we could get 3 yards when we needed to. And so, like I said, if we were at their 40-yard line or better, there was a conversation to be had about, hey, we should probably go for this. And for me, I never have an issue when we're going for it and we are on their side of the field, because to me, it's like a punt anyway. Like, that's how I look at it. Like, okay, so you don't get it at their 35. They still got to drive, 60-something yards down the field. So to me, that's how I look at it. But I want to toss it over to Bobby Bless because I don't know if Bobby agrees with me on that. I know that we love it when we get the 4th downs, but how nervous are you in Toledo when we go for it on 4th down? And what's your opinion in general?
The beginning of the season I was, but now it's a standard. You can't be still worried about them damn 4th downs because some of them get through. So if you like the ones that work, you got to let the ones that don't too. So that's how I'm at. That's how I'm mentally with it. But also, how many times in Lions history we be like, man, go for it, man. Right? Go for it. It ain't that much. Go for it. But how many times in Lions history have we been able to do that with a top 3 offense, with a top 5 offense? We got the offense this now. So we need to be maxing what we got. You know what I mean? Max it out. And if you notice, and I noticed that you said if we get past the 50 on our 40 or beyond, go for it. And that's where I mostly see Dan Campbell doing that. Now, you did have that one time where he did the fake punt on his own 20. That was crazy.
Right.
But in hindsight thinking about it, that's probably really the only one that I was like, what the hell is you doing kind of thing. But
remember, it's about morale.
And Nate beat me to it, man. The players, he believe in his players, and they believe in him. And if I got the number one, a top offense, some arguably say, I hear people say we got the best balanced offense in the league. Why not? We should be able to get, like Elijah said, the 3 yards at any time. It don't be like 4th and 15, it'd be like 3rd or 5 or less when that man decide to go for it. So it don't really be like out of the realm of thinking like he trying to go for it. Like when we on 4th and 20, 4th and 15, it'd be like 4th and reasonable. And we got to remember that we got a good offense, man. So we should be able to get at least 3 yards every time. And the main thing too, we balance. We so balanced, we can line up in shotgun on a 4th down, make them think we about to pass, and run that thing for a 1st down. That is like that. We him. You know what I mean? We is him on offense. So there's nothing like. There's not like 4th and 3rd or less ain't scaring Dan Campbell, and he might be on our own side of the damn 50 when he do it. It ain't scary.
4th and 5, it could be 4. I think they had 4th and 6.
Yeah,
and then they ran the ball.
But again, that's you going to your fellas like, hey, big fellas, we running right behind y'all.
And
make
the
it do what it do.
Too. And the receivers blocking too.
I want to throw this out there and see if y'all agree with this. To me, there is nothing better than time on task. You can watch all the videos you want. You can do all the classroom sessions you want, but you need time on task. That is what makes you great. And for me, at some point this season, later down the road when it really, really matters, we're going to come across a 4th down situation. And for most teams in the league who don't go for it, who always play it safe, you know what? They're going to be nervous because we haven't done this in a real game before where there are consequences if we don't get it. We just do this at the end of practice when we're doing situational football. But for the Lions, we're doing it so much that our guys aren't going to be phased at all because this is routine for us. Would y'all agree with that? Let me go to Nate first.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's going to be next week. I mean, he does this so much that, and it's not even, and a lot of people can look at it like, oh, he's not trusting his defense. No, it's the opposite. I trust my offense that much that I'm not even worried about my defense because if I know if I put them in a position that they still can get the stop. But we ain't playing the safe. We're not built that way. We're about grit, ass cheeks, and 3 toes, whatever. When you play us, you have to be on your toes at all times, which actually helps us. Because now as a defensive coordinator, it makes you overthink situations. You can't just sit here and be docile about it. You can't be like, all right, punt team. I mean, punt block. You're like, wait, whoa. Oh, shit. Great defense. Because you can't switch out that personnel because you've seen it. When you switch personnel and you never know when they're going to go for a fake field goal, a fake punt, whether it's a throw off the punt, whether it's a direct snap, you never know. And that's also credit to our special teams coach that that's another facet of the game that we have in our pocket. Like, hey, you sit here and think we about to punt it if you want to.
Hey, can I ask something real quick, Elijah? It ain't even really
Yeah,
just a
yeah. Go
little
ahead.
info
It's all you,
nugget.
Bobby.
Just a little info nugget. Jaredgoff in the press conference, one of them I watched because I was, I sit back, blow, listen to whatever damn thing pop on the reel. But make a long story short, he was saying that he automatically assumes they're going for it until the damn punter and the special teams run out on the field. So
Yeah.
that mean they already, yeah. So that mean they
It's a
already
mindset.
ready. And like going off of what you said, they already know we going for it until they pull us off. You don't gotta hype us up. You gotta calm us down.
Right.
That's how we.
And that's what you want. That's what we talk about when we talked about the morale. We know the morale of your team. Regardless, yeah, people were talking about what was that, his first year, we won what, 3 games?
Yeah.
That was me. That's what I was saying again. It was setting the tone. That was the initial building of the culture of a broken team. You had a coach who didn't believe in y'all, who talked shit to y'all, didn't treat y'all like men, treated y'all like I hate to say it, the old saying, a bald head stepchild, all this type of shit.
Fat and smelly.
Right. So, big baloney, big baloney and Joe Clark had to get the boot. I mean, it was just like, dog, like you have grown men that are disoriented. They have been playing this game their entire life. Now they act like they don't know how because you think you're Alexander the Great or what was the little dude name? Napoleon. Yeah. Or the other dude that in North Korea.
Oh,
He's going all around the world. He's hitting like every political thing right now.
Yeah, but because these guys, they believe in that dictatorship. Like, hey,
right.
I am one all be all. You do what I tell you. If you don't, there's going to be circumstances and consequences. Yeah, Darius Slay traded. Glover Quinn, bye. You know what I mean? Like, dude, Craig Crondre Diggs, bye. Like, wait a minute. You got dudes that don't even want to play for you, and you sitting on the ATV like you on fucking King of the Hill or something, yelling for Bobby. Like, it's just like, man.
Damn it, Bobby.
Right. It's like, dude, it was just so terrible, but now it is a different feeling. They know it. They don't even, hey, they go up there with 4 plays to start it. They don't even, hey, I don't think a lot of times they even look at Dan Campbell to even see if they coming off the field or not. They be in the huddle. He be like,
yeah. That's what Goff said. We automatically assume we going for it until we see the special team run out there.
Right. And that's the love that your players have because you want your coach to believe in your ability.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why you have so many people say, I would love to play for that coach. I would love it.
So in other news, because I got to throw this in here because this is just too good of a story to not share. And I know these guys probably already heard about this, and I know most sports fans already heard about this, but give me a moment here, okay? So I found out this morning that Jimbo Fisher is out at Texas A&M. I think most of us heard about this, but the way they did it was dirty, okay?
Oh, I didn't know. I haven't heard about it.
All right, so get ready for this, okay? So Jimbo Fisher had it in his contract at Texas A&M that if he got fired, the buyout for his contract was something ridiculous, like $70 million. So at the football game, when Texas A&M was giving Mississippi State a good old-fashioned take it behind the barn and beat the shit out of them, at halftime of that game, the Texas A&M Booster Club, called the 12th Man Foundation, comes out on the field. They got a big paper check, okay? They got a big paper check for $170 million. And they're out there showing off this check. All the Texas A&M fans are cheering and loving all this. And then the next day, they fired Jimbo Fisher. So if you think about that, they were parading the check they were going to fire him with.
Yeah.
While he
exactly
was
what they did.
Making
That is
halftime adjustments. That is so dirty.
That's cold-blooded.
Everybody's like, where did Texas A&M get this money? First of all, they're not a poor school. Second of all, they got it from the Buck Fan Foundation. That is some. Man. Oh my God!
They was ready to get rid of him.
They were ready. Now I will never feel bad for Jimbo Fisher, and the reason why is because my father's a Florida State Seminoles fan, as well as a Green Bay Packers fan. And when Bobby Bowden left and Jimbo took over, Jimbo was supposed to be there until the end of his college football career coaching. That was the game plan. Was you were going to take over what Bobby did, and you were going to continue it on. And then after he won the national championship with James, he said, I'm going to go to Texas A&M. And he kind of screwed over Florida State. Now, they've rebounded. Kudos to them.
Yeah, they sweet. They nice.
But I'm just saying, I will never feel bad for Jimbo Fisher, and I'm sure he don't feel bad with $70 million coming to him. But again, I couldn't believe that they literally paraded the check around while the man was in the locker room doing halftime adjustments of a game they won, by the way, 52-17, and then the next day his ass gets fired.
Yeah, it's hard to cry in a Lamborghini, man.
I'm just saying, hey, I would like to try though. I
like that, Bobby.
It's hard to cry in a Lamborghini, man.
But I also want to throw out there another head coaching job that has become available, and I know we don't usually talk about college football, but these are important. Okay, these are important. Mississippi State, they were on the losing end of Texas A&M's beatdown. They have fired their coach. Now, I feel for that program. I really do, because they had Mike Leach. Things were going good, and then Mike Leach passed away last year, which sucks. I don't remember a time when a college coach currently coaching a team has passed away like that.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
I mean, that's kind of a rare situation. And so they bring in the defensive coordinator for the team. They give him the job as a head coach. He doesn't even get a full year before they let him go. And I think that's a little bit of a disservice that they did that to him, but they felt they needed to make the change. But the big thing that ESPN is pushing, and I really don't think there's any weight behind this, but the big thing that ESPN is pushing is Deion Sanders leaves Colorado and goes to Texas A&M. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen.
He better stay where the hell he at.
I feel like that would be a slap in the face to Colorado. And I don't think Deion would do that to them, because I honestly believe he loves being at Colorado.
His only place he's going to go to coach after that is
Florida State.
Is Florida State.
But the other thing that, folks are starting to talk about this time of the year, obviously, and I think it's worthy of us talking about, what head coaching candidates, or I should say, what current head coaches might get the axe?
Oh,
so I'm curious to see what you guys think about that. We already know
it's always a surprise. It's always a surprise.
We already know the Raiders are going to have a new coach next year.
Which I think they're going to, and it's most likely it's going to be Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, he seems like he working out.
Yeah, he's already changed that locker room. Max Crosby, Devontae Adams, they're already vouching for him already. I mean, it wouldn't have made no difference when they played us. He would have just been another coach with an ass whooping. But I mean, no, they're definitely vouching for him. So I think that's good. But you better get upstairs.
I got one.
My bad. Luna was sneaking downstairs. My bad.
You're good. Hey, Bobby, go ahead.
I got one. The Chargers coach, they got nothing but talent, man. And he all that dumb stuff that he's been done in the past and stuff, and blowing the lead in the playoffs and all that kind of stuff, man. They sick of him. And just like Nate was saying it, man. The player coaches is what it is now. Mm-hmm. It's a players' league. These players not going for them disciplinarian dudes no more, and or them calculator dudes. I think, like, look at Detroit.
Green Bay gonna get one too. I think he's out of here too.
Yeah, he might. But the whole thing, like the player coaches thing, like Detroit really brung that, and I think that's the major part of our turnaround being so fast and so consistent, that we got a lot of former players in every room, room. So if it's not the wide receiver room or the linebacker room or the corner room or all receiver room, they all former players, and I think this is a time where it's always a time in history, especially in the NFL, where trends set and people go with that trend. And to be honest with you, the trend of having the coach and the GM have an equal amount of power is what it is now, and former players are the best cog in that because they are the ones that can able to tap into the player's mind more so than a guy that's what you call him, the bad built Napoleon, whatever the hell.
So I've got three.
That's what I. So that's where I'm at with that though, Elijah. I think, and the Chargers is very underwhelming. They got talent on offense, they got talent on defense, and I honestly think they curse too, man, because they always got talent. And they don't never finish the deal with the Chargers. So
if you remember what I said last week when we were talking about the Chargers, I said you can always count on the Chargers to let you down because
the Chargers,
that's what they've always done. Phillip Rivers was a hell of a quarterback. Like, I know he had his issues or whatever, but like he was a hell of a quarterback, and they wasted that man.
They cursed.
They had my
fired,
big homie there.
They had
AG. AG.
They fired Marty Schottenheimer when he went 14-2. That's they curse, man. You don't fire no coach.
Now here's the deal. Here's my three and a fringe. Okay, my three and a fringe. I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears head coach. I think he's out. I thought he was out a few weeks ago. I thought he was out a few weeks ago, but he survived because he was winning games. And now they got this backup quarterback in.
But you see how good that lasted. Right. They gonna get a dose next week. We gonna run the score up on their ass.
But
I agree. He's about to get the hit.
I think Eberflus is gone. Okay, I really do. I think he is gone at the end of this year. Maybe even before it, but I think right now they're focusing on how much money did they spend in free agency, like more than anybody else. They got draft capital. You bring in the right coach, you might actually be able to do something there in Chicago and create a competitive.
Yeah, and then have the number 1 and number 2 pick.
Right, because you're thinking at the moment. I mean, that's
how the Texans turn. That's how the Texans turn around with 2 and 3.
But right, I mean, like the 1 and 2 at the moment that everybody keeps saying is.
But they stupid though.
And Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is definitely going to be top 2 in my opinion.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's going to be Caleb Williams.
No, I don't either.
Hell no.
And then Chicago is stupid. Remember, they gave up a lot of shit to move up one spot for Mitch Trubisky. So Chicago always do dumb shit anyway.
But I think they're going to be more apt to have all these superstars they've acquired on defense and these new draft picks with a new regime.
We're going to have to watch Ben Johnson for that because I know Ben Johnson's going to be the number 1 guy people are going to want. So
that's my first one is Chicago.
Yeah.
My second one, the New England Patriots. I think Bill Belichick is done. Listen, there comes a point in time in every single story, unfortunately, where you got to end it. It's not the never-ending story. And I think for Robert Kraft, this is going to be very uncomfortable for him. Because you're looking at somebody.
He was pissed Sunday.
But like I said, you're looking at somebody who has given a whole lot to your organization and who has won a lot of Super Bowls. And I'm not saying that, Tom Brady doesn't deserve credit. He certainly does. He was a quarterback. But I'm just saying, if you're going into that room, that's not a room I want to be in. Where you go to Bill Belichick and say, Bill, respectfully, step down or I'm going to have to fire you.
And here's the thing, but by you doing that, Bill is also your general manager,
right?
So you can just tell him to do solely general manager duties. But then again,
why would you do that?
Are you even confident with that? Right, because as of late, New England ain't hitting on a damn draft pick and shit either.
So he picked Mac Jones. Mac Jones a bum.
So I mean, I'm with you. I can see that. I can see that too.
I think Bill Belichick, and this is the thing, he's either going to go out respectfully, or he is going to say, pardon my French, I'm going to use one F-bomb in this show.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I'm going to go to a team that is piss poor, and I'm going to come back and beat your ass. And I don't know if he can do that, to be perfectly honest with you. But Bill Belichick, if anybody's going to try to go on a revenge tour, it would be Bill Belichick. Because
True,
I don't think he thinks he's done. I don't think he thinks he's done. Because if he thought he was done, he would just go ahead and leave now.
Bill, go to Tampa and win there. That'd be sweet.
But that's my second one. So I got the Bears. I got the Patriots.
Oh.
Here comes my third. You can go ahead and write it down because it's going to happen. If they don't make the playoffs, the Atlanta Falcons will be looking for a brand new coach.
Oh, who is their coach?
Right now, it's Arthur Smith, and Arthur Smith was hired from Tennessee.
I didn't know he was their damn coach.
And installed.
They already been mad at him because he ain't gave Bijan Robinson enough touches. So he already on the hot seat at that.
But I think Arthur Smith is gone. I think he is done in Atlanta. And here's the deal, all right? The two teams, I'm gonna take a stopping point here for a second. The two teams that I think will try. We already know what Deion says about the NFL. He don't like the NFL. He doesn't want to go to the NFL and coach there. He's already said that millions of times. But I promise you, the two teams that are going to be lighting his phone up, the Las Vegas Raiders and the Atlanta Falcons. I
don't think it's going to be the Raiders. I honestly think that they're going to stick with Antonio Pierce.
So I would agree with that, but here's my issue with the Raiders. They've had interim coaches in the past do well enough to keep the job, but they're so obsessed with being the talking point during the offseason.
The last dude was good too. Yeah,
right, but they're so obsessed with being
but they ain't did shit else though.
That they want to go out and get the superstar.
And I think that's the way of old now. But when you think about it, you got Max Crosby coming up. His contract's about to come up.
Yeah,
and he's telling you,
"Come to Detroit."
Okay, I'm liking what Coach Pierce is doing. He's changing the energy. Everything feels different. The locker room was different. It didn't help that they just put the video out with all them smoking weed in the locker room and shit.
That wasn't weed. That was not weed. That was not weed.
Bobby Wood, no. What was it, Bobby?
That was backwoods. That was
what the hell is the difference?
Huh? Because backwoods is a cigar. It's just you split it open and put the weed in.
Exactly. That's my point.
No, they ain't smoking. I promise you that.
Hey, listen. I can tell you this: the way that smoke was coming out, we both know how weed smoke.
Oh no!
Tobacco smoke.
That's a hand-rolled cigar. They hand-rolled cigars. All the hand-rolled cigars ain't weed.
Fellas, I wish I could relate, but I don't know what the hell y'all talking about.
Nate is weed head.
That wasn't no tobacco smoke.
Nate is weed head bashing.
Listen. I won't go for the and I won't go for the foolishness. Like, hey, we're on the debate now. No. Hey, man, shut up, Nate. I wish I could relate to what y'all are saying, but I'm a man of God, so we're gonna keep it moving.
You just dropped the F-bomb like 3 minutes ago.
That was I was saved 3 minutes ago. Anyway, so we got we have a fringe team. All right. So I told you Bears, I told you Patriots, I told you Falcons. Here's my fringe team, and I kind of want to have two fringe teams, but I'll tell you the one that I think is going to be the more shocking one. Okay, least shocking would be the Jets. If the Jets move on, that would be the least shocking.
I doubt.
No. I disagree, Elijah.
But
their
the more
defense
shocking
is still number one. No.
The more shocking one, though, I think Sean Payton is going to step down at the end of the year.
No.
I could believe that too, but I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I think they're going to move on from Russell Wilson. Is what I think they're going to do.
I don't know how they can do that. They don't got no draft picks or no money.
He keep playing like it last night. Somebody gonna pick him up.
Man, look, that one game wonder shit. The thing of the matter is, Russell Wilson is not smart enough for a Sean Payton type offense.
No,
I'm sorry.
That's precision. All precision. All precision.
He's not smart
accuracy.
enough. Hey,
Nope.
he don't have enough touch. His arm not strong enough. He don't read defenses enough. Only thing he can do is try to run around, scoot here, and make a good throw and let the wide receiver beat their man. You know what I mean? So to me, that wasn't a good marriage anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like Sean Payton is along the lines of an Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, very smart.
If they making Key Russell Wilson, he might quit though.
Here's why I say that though.
Russell Wilson needs a Pete Carroll. He needs a guy with the simplest offense you can run. He need to go to the Giants or some shit where it's like, hey, guess what? Play calling for dummies. That's the type of offense he needs.
To wrap this up, okay? Here's why I'm saying Sean Payton, all right? And again, it's a fringe because I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But I can tell you that Sean Payton, when he was on TV, there was a renewed energy about him. Like, you could tell he loved the game of football, all right? And, yeah, when he's on TV, you're sitting there looking at it going, yeah, if we could get him to be our coach, that would be pretty cool because he has the charisma. He's also got the record behind him. He's got a Super Bowl. That would be nice, right? In Denver, it feels like he is in prison. Like, every time this man does a post-game interview or even weekly press conference, it just seems like the life has been sucked out of him. And
he asking for help. He calling for help. We're crying for help, huh? Like, you can see it, huh?
I mean, I hate to be dramatic, but like that's what it seems like.
Yeah.
It just seems like he hates his life and he is miserable right now. And I got a lot of respect for Sean Payton because if it wasn't for Sean Payton and Bill Parcells, we would not have Dan Campbell. So I got a lot of respect for Sean Payton, but I feel like maybe he jumped back into the pool when he should have just stayed on the sidelines. And I said that back when they hired him as the Broncos coach. I told everybody on this show, I said, I don't know about that one. Because
I said the same thing. I was with you.
A lot of times when Hall of Fame worthy coaches hop back in with that second team, nobody ever remembers what that.
Hey, can I ask you this question though? What was Sean Payton before Drew Brees?
He was the Saints coach.
No, he was. Sean Payton was nobody. He was a nobody, man. He just was enjoying the ride with Drew Brees. Who in the hell coaching Drew Brees?
Think about it, but here's the thing. Who was Bill Parcells? Think about it now. Bill Parcells had one good year at Cleveland. Then he got fired because
no, that ain't Bill Parcells. That's Bill Belichick.
I mean Bill Belichick. But he won 5 games. He won 5 games. Got fired.
But my point is, if Sean Payton, and this is, I mean, I don't know how you can possibly debate this, and I don't think you would, Bobby. But if Sean Payton doesn't take Dan Campbell under his wing, Dan Campbell never gets the job for the Detroit Lions. Because the record that he had with the Dolphins was all right. Like, he came into a crappy situation. He made the most of it. But a lot of people had forgotten about the fact that Dan Campbell was an interim coach for the Dolphins. And what everybody was relying on was the word of Sean Payton that this guy is legit. And he turned out to be.
It happens all the time. It happened all the time. Because they did the same thing with Tony Dungy and Caldwell. But see, the thing is, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about as far as a Super Bowl winning coach. He ain't that without Drew Brees. You know what I mean?
I would agree with that.
That's all. And I also mean, you don't need to be no offensive guru to coach Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes. Well, maybe Mahomes, but not so like, not so like, because Drew Brees is an accurate dude. You know what I mean? And like he's precision. So I mean, I guess you could scheme it up, but it was mostly Drew Brees and Brady. You know, them guys, you ain't really coaching them. You just enjoying the damn ride. That's just how I feel personally.
No, I don't blame you for feeling.
I don't know, because I mean,
I do agree with you. I will say that I do remember Sean Payton having some good offenses with the Cowboys. Back in the early 2000s. That's where he kind of.
I do too.
Sean Payton was betting on the bounty gate. He wasn't so he wasn't even worried about nothing but the bounty, making bets with the defense. And
but
He wasn't really coaching the offense.
Bobby, grab your new hat, my friend. Grab your new hat because that's what
okay.
But to put a bow on this, okay, for me, all right, if you want to write these predictions down and tell me I'm wrong whenever, you know, the end of the season happens, that's fine. But write these down. For me, I have got the Bears getting rid of their coach, the Falcons and the Patriots, and my fringe team is the Broncos getting surprised by Sean Payton saying, hey, I came back, but I'd much rather be golfing because this is too dang stressful to try to compete in today's NFL when I'm trying to use yesterday's playbook. So we'll see what happens.
I don't even think it's yesterday's playbook. It's yesterday's quarterback. It's more so a Drew Brees thinks he's going back. I mean, not Drew Brees, fucking Russell Wilson going back to his old Seattle days. Like, dude, no.
So, Bobby Bless, you got yourself a new hat, obviously, for this Victory Tuesday. Show us what you got.
Yeah. And Buffalo coach gonna be fired too. But
way they
they already fired their offensive coordinator. That's grounds for you guess who next. But the hat. Yep. This is I gotta read this damn thing, man. It's like a velvet hat. Yeah, we got the honoring the 1990 Pro Bowl. Let me see. I forgot. It's satin, not velvet. Satin. Yeah, the satin hat, Pro Bowl. This is snapback. It probably, if I had like a little, the picture, the Facebook picture, you probably could see it better. It is like it's really like a soft material, dude. This a bad mamma jamma, for real.
That is not a Bobby hat. That is a Robert hat.
No, you don't know Robert.
Extra fancy.
No, Robert wear that damn Walmart hat. That's what Robert do. He wear that damn Walmart hat. They even put my name on the check. They put Robert on the check. But anyway, this is my 7th hat of the year. It's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? I haven't had this many hats this soon in the year for a long time. I can't even remember. So
long time.
long time.
So at what
life
point
is good.
At what point do I need to throw up the QR code for the GoFundMe page? So you can
we good. We good.
All right. Hell
no. I just stay at Walmart a little longer. I had calculated how long I need to be there every day to get a hat. So it's always it's a system. It's a method to this. No, but honestly, man, it's just a good thing that we collecting these hats because that means we win and stuff. I ain't really cheating my system this year. When we went 1-6 last year, I was like, fuck that, I'm gonna buy me a hat. So the Lions, they actually doing their part this year, and I'm running out of hats to buy. So I'm always on the lookout for because I didn't salute for service, breast cancer awareness. I didn't went through all of the stuff, sideline this, sideline that. So, if anybody got an idea of what hat that I should get, guys, please throw it in the comment section on our hunt page, on this video, or when you catch one of them reels I'm making for the team or whatever. Give me some. I'm running out of choices, and if I already got that hat, I will tell you guys I do. I don't want to. I want to let you guys know that I am paying attention. But yeah, man, help me, because I'm running out of hats to buy. I'm about to start buying winter hats, man. I'm running out of snapbacks and fitted caps and all that stuff. So I can't wait to buy that playoff hat because I guarantee that one will be brought. The NFC North champion hat, I will be buying that. I will be buying the NFC champion hat and more. So hopefully,
you trying to get that Super Bowl fit.
Yeah, so here's the deal. That, my friends, is what we call first world problems. When you can't figure out. but hey, I'm happy for it. We waited long enough. I'm happy for it. Nate, are you watching on the TV, my friend?
Yes.
Can you give us the comments? Because we got about 45 minutes, and at this point in the show, I got no idea where the show goes. Because we did every topic we had in the meeting.
Oh, we didn't talk about Gibbs and Montgomery.
Okay.
Oh
So
yeah, actually yes,
we'll
yes.
do that.
So
We'll do
just
that
go ahead,
after we
start, or you know what, start there, and then we'll go ahead. I will jump into these comments because
Okay, perfect.
it's,
So,
it's acting.
Bobby, you want to start off with Gibbs and Montgomery?
Yeah, Gibbs and Montgomery. I call him Montgomery and Gibbs. No offense to your guy, Elijah. I got him second in the damn nicknames. Don't come for me. But I'm calling Montgomery and Gibbs thunk and bump because them boys be running. I love them. And I didn't know Montgomery had that little wiggle in him to bust outside too, you know.
Yeah, I told you that he got some moves.
Yeah. And when he was running like that, I remember you and Reggie was telling me, Nate, "Oh, these dudes way better than you know." I was like, okay, well, yeah, I believe.
Way better than. I mean, I like Jamal, but I told
Yeah,
you this was an upgrade.
man,
A
they
very
get
big
speed.
upgrade.
Man, they get more yards per catch. They physical. You know what I mean? I'm pleasantly surprised with the running game, and the reason why is like you can see what they got with that. Like Montgomery is through the tackles, but when Gibbs go through the tackle, it's like it surprises the defense. So they so ready for Gibbs to bounce outside, and when now he bouncing outside, bouncing back inside, then bouncing back outside. That boy bouncing like Barry Sanders. So I'm like Gibbs. I think I don't know what he's doing. Where I think he's slowed down, or maybe he's taking an extra step back or to the left or something that giving him more time to actually catch the blocks on stride because he's not running into his blockers anymore. So is there something like I don't want to say hesitation because that's kind of a bad word, but
he just slowed down. That's all he did.
So I'm really liking his vision right now, man. And then he's so explosive. Like even Tony Romo was drooling over dude. Like you know what I mean? So the people are actually starting to see the kind of playmaking ability we got on that offense, and they're so like impressive that people actually honoring the damn play action now. It's a beautiful thing when you see Jaredgoff do that play action because either one of them because we done had years where we fake it to the line. I mean, the running back, the linebackers ain't even moving. They ain't worried about them dudes. Now they wasn't. But these guys, you got them hesitating, taking an extra step, extra half a second to make sure they ain't got the ball. And as you can see, St. Brown and Laporta and even Josh Reynolds at times is eating up that middle of the field because of that play action. Them honoring that damn play action is giving us the best play action game in the league.
I'm gonna do something that I normally don't do, but Matthew Stafford was the best play action quarterback that we had, and it's crazy. Even when people talking about we didn't have a running game, this and that, Matthew Stafford was still by far one of the best play action quarterbacks in the league, statistically and on the field. Like, dude, Matthew Stafford can work a play action. And I don't even know why
because it was two tight end sets.
No. I mean, he did it literally not even out of the two. It didn't matter. The fact that our running game was still that bad, and his play action was that convincing. You know, that's just one of the aggravating things about him. Like, dude, you had the skills. Like, what the hell are you doing? But giving him credit, he absolutely was good. Okay, so the comments we got.
So I haven't gone yet with Montgomery and Gibbs.
Oh yeah. Okay, my bad.
I'll go real quick and then let's get to these comments here. So for Montgomery and Gibbs, I think about Martin Mayhew. That's what I think about. Because I remember when Martin Mayhew drafted Javid Best and Mikel LaShore, and the whole plan the entire time was to have thunder and lightning. And then that first offseason, when they get to Detroit, Mikel LaShore tears his Achilles. Javid Best goes out there, does the best he can. By the next, I want to say, I don't even think it was 3 years that Javid Best was there. I could be wrong on that, but they never really saw the field together, ever. When Mikael LaShore was out there, it was Joique Bell who was running beside him. Nothing against Joique Bell. But he's not job at best. And so when I see jahmyrgibbs and David Montgomery out there, it, to me, is an example of what Martin Mayhew wanted back in the day, but it didn't happen. And sometimes it just doesn't happen. You know, the stars don't align, however you want to say it. But the stars have aligned. And we've got 2 running backs right now on Detroit's roster that would be first stringers on, I want to say, almost every other team in the league.
Oh, no, almost on every single one.
So I'm
not
excited
the 49ers.
to see where this thing goes. I'm excited to see where this thing goes. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of jahmyrgibbs. He's making me look like a very, very smart man for what I said about him in the pre-draft process. And that is one that, you know, I celebrated my 30th birthday last weekend, and I made a video talking about all the things that, you know, I was able to do in my 20s that I'm proud of. And one of the final clips on that was this podcast and me celebrating with the guys with jahmyrgibbs and everything, getting drafted by the Lions. I don't think I'll ever have something like this year's draft, but you never know. But like I said, I'm loving what I'm seeing. It's literally everything I said it was going to be and more. Because not only are we seeing the talent, we're seeing the talent win us games, which is awesome. Because in years past, it would be we got the talent, but for some reason, it's not all aligning. It's all aligning right now, and everybody's talking about our team. So I love it. With that being said, Nate mentioned something about Matthew Stafford. I want to throw one more thing out there about Matt Stafford.
Oh, Jesus.
So, as y'all know, okay, I'm a Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets fan. So, for me, Matthew Stafford got good when he was throwing to a Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket and Calvin Johnson, but that's a story for a different day. As far as Matthew Stafford is concerned, I will always respect him for all the years he had in Detroit. I may not have agreed with all the choices he made, but I will always respect him for the way that he battled and he toughed out a lot in our city. So I will always respect him for that. But what I love seeing was I follow Kelly Stafford on Instagram because she does a podcast. She's pretty good at it. She's pretty good at her podcast. But anyway, it was
good at spitting out babies.
They shared a photo of them during the bye week, her and Matthew. And they were sitting on the couch. They were watching football. And Kelly Stafford's wearing a Detroit Lions sweater. So they were tuning into our game because they had a moment to be able to do it. And I just think that's really cool. Stafford also was on the Pat McAfee show, and he was speaking very highly of Detroit, talking about how you know, he always wanted us to be able to get to a title, and he's sad that he couldn't do it, but he loves Detroit. So for me, I feel like, I will always have respect for him. I will say I love the fact that Jaredgoff is actually doing the things that we were hoping to be able to get done with Stafford. So it's nice to see that. And it might be one of the rare trades in NFL history where both teams win at the end of the day. So with that being said, let me turn it over to Nate.
Elijah.
I know. I still like it.
Ironically,
but it's true.
What the fuck?
How many trades can you say both teams got a Super Bowl title out of it? Because the Lions are heading that direction. I don't know very many trades like that.
Yeah, no, we never.
No. I disagree. If you ain't got a top defense, you can't have Stafford leading the league in interceptions and still winning the Super Bowl.
I'm just saying.
That's how I feel.
We trade him to the Rams, he gets his ring. We get Goff, we potentially get our ring. If we
threw two interceptions in the Super Bowl.
If we get our ring with Goff, I don't know that there's a better trade in NFL history.
Well, actually, I mean, I look at it this way: we've already for the amount of players that we got that are active on this team and have become leaders on this team. We've already got that. Like I get the whole Super Bowl thing, whether Matthew Stafford was typical Matthew Stafford or not. I mean,
Goff took him to the Super Bowl. Goff took him to the Super Bowl.
Right. So I mean, at the end of the day, I look at what Brad Holmes has done with the draft picks, the resurgence of Jaredgoff, and how our team is actually better than it was when we had Matthew Stafford. So
I think they got played.
To me, that's a win for us. I like you, Matthew Stafford. I don't even think he's even playing no more this year. I don't know what they're doing, but I mean, like for real. I mean, not even being funny. Like, hey, man, I wish to do all the success he could ask for, but truthfully, I'm glad he's not a Lion anymore.
Yeah.
And hey, we're moving forward, so I'm
Yep.
good.
So it is 7:24 right now, and I know some people watch this after we post it, but it's 7:24 right now. We got nothing else on the schedule other than your comments at home. Okay, so
and one more thing.
All right, real quick though, we're gonna leave the rest of this time for you at home. Okay, so if there's stuff you want us to talk about, put it in the comment section. Nate's gonna get to that. Nate's got one more thing, but like I said, the back end of this show is all yours, folks. So comment, leave us topics you want us to hit on, and we will do our best to do so. Nate, go ahead.
Well, first of all, we want to talk about additions that the Lions reached out. They reached out to sign pass rusher Bruce Irvin, who last played with Seattle last year. Vitae has been moved to injured reserve, which I am so happy. But Bobby, I tell you, I always said Vitae sucked ass.
But he was balling when he out there. He was balling.
No, his passing rating still sucks. Yeah, he's good in the run block. But right now we have a complete right guard whose career came full circle, drafted by the Lions, and is now leading and locking down that right side next to Penei Sewell. Our pass rushes, our pass protection is A1. Our run blocking is A1. So that is a good big shout out to Graham Glasgow. Put some respect on his name. And Big V, yeah. Okay, so wait a minute. There you go. So now the comments are showing. Eli, okay, I see what you said. Okay, so comments from our guy Four Horsemen. He wanted to ask us, what do we think about Bruce Irvin? Jason said, nice hat, Bobby. And that's all it was showing. But okay. I'm not sure if it was YouTube acting stupid again. Sorry, YouTube. Sure. Not trying to be funny, YouTube. But like for a minute, I could have swore it said it was like 10, 12 comments on it. Then it was only 2. So now I see, on the screen what you have up there. Topics for the guys, comment them below. So I see that. So I'm not sure what's going on with YouTube.
Hopefully we get some topics though, because like I said, we've never had this much time on the back end of a show before to have to fill. Now, obviously,
I always got some stuff, that we can fill in.
I'm sure, but I do want to give folks an opportunity. Again, if you got stuff we haven't talked about, this is your moment to shine right here. And this might become something that we do on future shows where we leave a little bit of time for folks to just give us topics, and we'll give you our thoughts. We might not have a lot to say about whatever it is you're asking us, but
you don't want to hear the topic I got.
Whether it's Lions related or not, comment it and let's talk about it. Again, comment below, like this video. We got 6 people watching at the moment, and Jason has got a topic, so let's talk about it.
J-Mo is a blocking fool. But here's the thing about that. I'll start with that one, is that if people actually have ever watched Jameson Williams, even before he transferred to Alabama, at Ohio State, he played the gunner. So he's never been a guy who shied away from contact. He's always been, he fits the mold. But people look at his small stature, or the slimness, and like, oh, okay, he's not that big body type guy, but his speed, as he led David Montgomery again. Bobby, I knew you was gonna do that. J-Mo escorted David Montgomery to the end zone again. So this is the first time David Montgomery had that long run. He was escorted by J-Mo. This time he was escorted by J-Mo.
Said he was jogging. Montgomery said he was jogging. He wasn't even running fast.
No, because you see how fast he caught up to him? He was behind everybody. And then he would look up and he's side by side with him. I mean, ushering him down the line, man. If J-Mo is a guy, you know, we forget he's still a young kid. People are looking at him from, you know, what we traded up for, you know, 12th round pick. They warrant the explosive plays and things of that nature. But you still have to realize he's still a very young kid who's getting a chance to really take in and understand discipline on the field, off the field, you know, becoming a professional. So there's always going to be little bumps in the road. But one thing you could always count on, he gives 100% when he's on the field.
Yeah, he definitely invested. You don't do all that running and blocking and not
Oh,
caring.
no, right.
Did anybody notice? Because everybody always loves to talk about it, right? Everybody always loves to talk about this.
I bet you about to say what I was about to say.
I'm going to say it before you do. Anybody count how many drops J-Mo had this week?
Oh, no, that wasn't it.
0. He had 0 drops this week.
I don't remember him dropping nothing.
And he had a touchdown. And he had a touchdown that was taken back by a stupid-ass penalty. But I'm just saying.
And guess what?
He had
you were
0
close.
drops this week, but nobody is going to talk about that.
You were so close.
Other than us.
You were so close. Because the play that he scored on that was called back, Ben Johnson was so smart, he ran it back again with St. Brown and he scored a touchdown on it. So I said, oh my God, he's about to do it. It was literally the exact same wide receiver screen. Only difference was it was just
Decker didn't block within the tackles, right?
No. They said he went low. I mean,
you can't go low within the tackles.
He didn't even have to. He didn't even have to. The ball was already gone. So it was just a dumb penalty by Decker.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I love the fact that Amon-Ra got a touchdown, so don't get me wrong there. But
I wanted J-Mo to get that.
But if I'm J-Mo, I'm a little bit irritated. We're going to run the same. Let me do it. I can do. I have demonstrated the ability. Let me do what I do.
Yeah. I feel it. Okay. So we're gonna bypass Bobby's. We'll get to Bobby's topic later.
Okay. All right.
No.
I want all that smoke. Come on, Bobby.
I got a better one.
I got the hard hitting.
I want all that smoke. Let's go.
So
let's go.
Jason says, "Could Goff be the MVP this year?" Eli, start with you.
No. Yes. I do not believe so. However, if you worded the question, does he deserve the MVP this year? I would say yes. But will he get it? No. He will not get it because of the fact that the MVP is like the school's president, the school class president. It's a big old popularity contest. And Jaredgoff across the league is not as popular as Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow or some of those other guys. Or Lamar Jackson. No hate to any of those guys, but like I said, it's going to be one of those guys who ends up winning the MVP. Now, if Jared Goff keeps playing the way that he's playing, does he deserve it? Like I said, yeah, he deserves it, but he's not going to win a popularity contest against a guy that's got every single State Farm ad. And like I said, Joe Burrow and Lamar. Does he deserve it? Yes. Will he get it? No. Bobby?
I say yes. And the reason why I say yes, because history has shown the best player on the team with the most win has the best chances to get the MVP. If the Lions win 13, 14 games, Jared Goff will be MVP. If he ain't MVP, he's gonna be damn near close. He's definitely gonna be all pro. Because I'm just looking at his stats alone, he's throwing damn near 70% pass. They is winning, I mean, the completions.
He definitely has a case.
His quarterback rating says a lot too, but the main thing is winning, man. Nothing against Jalen Hurts, you know what I mean? Jalen Hurts was the MVP because this team had the best record, and he was the biggest engine of that cog, and everybody knows it's a quarterback award. That's also another reason why I say Jared Goff. But the main thing is him winning though. I don't think
and being efficient while he wins is to me.
Right. Like if he ain't throwing picks, he's still with the 70 completion percentage. He spread the ball around, and he ain't locked in on all these different receivers. And the main thing is the quarterback award. So if you got the best record and you the quarterback on the team with the best record, you're gonna get some kind of votes. You know what I mean?
I believe he could. I do believe he could.
I do.
So Nate, you were away from the computer for a moment. So let me just repeat what I said. I said it's a popularity contest.
No, you're right. I heard you. I was right there. I heard you. Like you say, it's the
and I agree with Bobby. I'd love to see Jared get it. I'd love to see Jared get it because I think he deserves it. Like, don't get me wrong. I think he deserves it. But I just feel like it's a popularity contest.
It is. It's about, and right now, even though Kansas City doesn't have the best record, they're not in the NFL power rankings. They're not top 3, but he still is the favorite for the MVP award.
Right.
Like, and it's crazy because people are they're talking about Dak instead of Jaredgoff. And we're like, wait, what?
And you gotta remember this too. We over exceeding expectations. Of course, we was predicted to win the North, but we wasn't predicted to be this high in the NFC. There's no way.
So I do want to let y'all know we've got 9 people watching now. The viewership is going up. Hey, this is your show at this point. It's 7:36. We got about 30 more minutes left, and then we got to go. So
Jason's being the Bobby right now. So Jason's new topic. Jason said, "Is Reggie the I know what he meant. Is Reggie the MVP of the show?"
You know what? I would say. Yeah. I would say that Reggie is one of the cogs that makes this whole machine go. You know, I can't say enough nice things about Reggie Funchess because I love that dude. I love both these guys on the screen too. But like I said, Reggie was one of the guys that I did not know prior to starting this show. I didn't know Bobby that well either. And Reggie came in and he said, "Hey, you guys want to do longer than 45 minutes? I'm going to make sure y'all can do that." So again, I can't say enough nice things about Reggie. I hate that he's not here tonight, but he's okay, everybody. I believe he was getting his wife a new car, if I'm not mistaken, at the dealership.
That money spent good.
And that's a whole process, I guess. I don't know because I've never bought in a car. But Reggie's okay. He's just not with us tonight. And I'm sure he would have, completely devoured some of these topics like he usually
does. They probably poured some champagne for Reggie trying to get him to buy the car.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Reggie, remember, you don't pay $1 over sticker price. King of the Hill joke. Anyway, so, hey, we do have a bunch of people watching right now. Remember to like this video for us. Comment your topic. We're going to try to get to it here before 8 o'clock tonight. So comment. Even if you've already done it, give us another topic. We'd love that. Do want to remind you again, YouTube has changed the way they do things now. So once you hit 500 subscribers, you can monetize your channel. That's what we want to do here. Right now, we're at like 474, I believe. So we're trying to get to 500. And if you're wondering, why do y'all want to monetize? People hate commercials. Listen, I get it. I hate commercials too. But if it helps us be able to do more things for you guys, that's what we're trying to do. Example being, we would love to host a Detroit Lions trivia night out in Detroit at a local sports bar. That costs money to do that because all 4 of us live in 4 different places. So, it's things like that we're trying to do. Madden tournaments, different things like that we want to be able to do for y'all. That all comes once we start making money from this show. So 500 subscribers, that helps us do that. And subscribing is free. So,
absolutely. All right, next one. So our next question, you want the smoke and Bobby's ready for it.
All right.
So Jaredgoff versus Matthew Stafford.
So Bobby, do you want to take this one first or you want me to
go? Yeah, I'll take it first because I know you're going to water it down anyway.
Go ahead.
Oh, fine.
Yeah. I'm gonna say yes because this is a raw result-based business, and what I mean by that is like actually winning. You know what I mean? With Matthew Stafford, it's a lot of passing yards, a lot of attempts. Some people say for various reasons. Some say lack of running game. Some say I'm not so sure about that personally. And if you want to speak on it by the dollar, we're definitely better off without him. A lot of people say, well, if Stafford had this, and well, if Stafford had that, well, I say Goff got this and got that because he's not the highest paid quarterback in the league multiple times over his career without really winning. The fact that we're not playing the quarterback record numbers is allow us to have actual talent to coincide with the drafting. But as far as of right now, I'm gonna say Goff is trending to be better than Stafford ever been as a Lion, and that's mainly because we're going to win the division, something that we never did under Matthew Stafford. Matt Flynn, Christian Ponder, Bridgewater, Mr. Trubisky. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? That's a lot of reason why the team is more balanced. And actually, it's hard to have a balanced team when the quarterback is the most worshipped part of this team. You're not paying the quarterback an abundant amount of money to be handing it off on a consistent, balanced basis. That alone, just the aura that Jaredgoff is a game manager. Everybody want to come see the game slinger sling the thing, but when you're trying to kill the clock and continuously 3-and-out drives and stuff, risky throws, it puts the team in the bad situations when they void of the talent, the things around them. Nothing against Matthew Stafford as far as like his will. I have never could sit here and say Matthew Stafford is a coward. He ain't tough. You know what I mean? It's just that I think a lot of his selfish, arrogant throws is the reason why it put us in a lot of bad positions. A lot of people say he didn't ever have a defense. We already explained that he had a top 2 defense. He always had weapons, but what he didn't have was a defense that can carry him and his mistakes.
Ooh.
And like, I mean, passing yards is cool, but interceptions is 10 times worse. And it's just mainly, man. It's just like I think he's just the Lamborghini in the trailer park, man. He's just there. Yeah, he was just there to sell. He filled seats. People loved him more than the team, actually. So that kept a lot of extra butts in the seats and sold a lot of 9 jerseys. But that until Jaredgoff wins the division and win a playoff game, he still hasn't. I'm not going to shy from the fact that he still hasn't done nothing that Stafford hasn't done yet. But I also feel like he's definitely trending in the right direction. He's more of a leader as far as how he speaks. It's not like the regular old reading in the back of, the regular old status quo talk. Jaredgoff actually talk a little shit. Stafford always never ruffled no feathers and stuff. And that's pretty much it. And the damn shame what he did to Calvin Johnson. So
okay. So now we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna pass the mic to the opposite side here. We're gonna go.
You can't say passing yards. You can't say passing yards.
So we're gonna go to Elijah Winfrey. All right, Elijah, the floor and the microphone is yours, my friend.
All right, so let's go ahead and get this out of the way immediately. All right. I don't know how anybody could say at this point in time that Jared Goff is not the better quarterback than Matthew Stafford for the Detroit Lions. I don't know how anybody could make that argument. What argument you could make is that much like when a head coach gets fired and the team suddenly starts winning, sometimes you can have a player with all the God-given ability but not be the right fit. And I feel like that was the situation in Detroit for Matthew Stafford for a number of years. He is a tremendous quarterback. He can do all the things with his arm that you want him to be able to do. Okay. No doubt about that. Nobody's debating that. But the thing is that he doesn't have what Jaredgoff has when it comes to leadership. And he doesn't have what Jaredgoff has as far as what is around him being stable. Matthew Stafford came to this franchise when nobody wanted to come to this franchise. Not even the draft picks wanted to come here. That's how bad that situation was that Matthew Stafford walked into. Stafford also had a different offensive coordinator, what seemed like every other year, which doesn't help. I feel like in order for this debate to actually have legs, you would need a situation where Matthew Stafford comes in to a stable situation. Let's take Jim Caldwell, for example. If he had Jim Caldwell for all 12 years of his career in Detroit, we win the division. We might even win the Super Bowl. He didn't have that, though. He had, for the first 3 years of his career, let's get the shit kicked out of you, Matthew, and, try to throw a pretty ball or two so we can sell some tickets. And unfortunately, Calvin was in the same damn situation. For the first 2 years of Calvin's career, he was like, who the fuck is throwing me the ball right now? Which that's 2 F-bombs. That's on me. But Calvin, again, Calvin with all the God-given ability in the world, he can do things that nobody else can do. But he can only do it if his quarterback can get him the ball. And his quarterback can only get him the ball if he's actually upright. And the first 3 years of their careers, you can't say that. But what I will say, and why I always have respect for Stafford, is his guts. He did not ask to get out of Detroit until he saw it going into the 4th major rebuild of his career. The 4th. Because you got Jim Schwartz, you've got Jim Caldwell, you got Matt Patricia. All 3 of those were major rebuilds for this team. Matt didn't say, get me the fuck up out of here until we hit the 4th time. And that's why I will always have respect for him, because I don't know many people that want to go through that whole regime change 4 times. Because you got to think about it, okay? What happens when they have a new coach? Well, that new coach comes in, talks about how it's going to be so different here. I'm going to implement all these things, and we're gonna take over the world. He heard that speech 4 different times and said, you know what? Nah, I need to go somewhere else. I've given this place all I can give it. My body, things about Matthew Stafford will never be the same because of things that happened to him in Detroit. So for me, I will always love him for that. But as far as wins and losses are concerned, yeah, Jaredgoff right now has got his number. And if Jaredgoff wins the division, if Jaredgoff wins the Super Bowl, he is going to go down in history as the best Detroit Lions quarterback. There's no doubt about that to me. And if you have been listening to this show at all, then you know I've said that over the past 6 months. Which is why I've told y'all, if Jaredgoff wins a playoff game and they come to him with a long-term extension, don't be shocked. If we win the Super Bowl this year and they come to him with a contract that's so ungodly, some might call it lifetime, don't be shocked. And if Jaredgoff gets to spend 12 years here like Matthew Stafford did, you can bet your ass a lot of those records that Matthew Stafford, accrued over his time here are not going to be his anymore. With that being said, I wouldn't trade those Matthew Stafford years for nothing. I really wouldn't, because that's when I became a fan. I became a fan when Calvin Johnson came here. I remember some very fond memories with Matthew Stafford. And yes, it was frustrating because there were some games we lost that we shouldn't have lost. But you know what? I would much rather go down swinging than go down and get pounded every single week like we were before when we had John.
Wait, what? That does not sound good.
But listen, you know what I'm talking about, though.
I know.
John Kitna, Joey Harrington, it wasn't like you were ever in the fight. You were always fighting from such a deficit that you were, you would hope to upset, but you ain't never going to do it. At least Stafford and Calvin and Ndamukong Suh kept us in shit. And it wasn't just those three guys, but I'm just saying those three guys are what a lot of people remember from that regime. But again, to me, to wrap up my points, because I've been taking too long, I don't know how at this point in this juncture you can say Jared Goff is not better than Matthew Stafford. But I also say there are two situations as far as when they came into these squads, very different. Very
rebuttal.
So go ahead. Go ahead.
Hold on.
Rebuttal.
Wait.
Oh.
Hold on.
I have a rebuttal. This is a real quick one.
Okay, go ahead with your rebuttal, Bobby.
Okay. All the coordinators was changing, right? It's almost like since all the coordinators was changing, you should give Matthew Stafford the ability to hand pick his coordinator where he most comfortable with, right? Did Matthew?
He did that with Jim Bob Cooter. He did that with Jim Cooter, and it didn't work out.
Right. So he wasn't a prisoner. He picked the motherfucker that got fired. So I
never said he was a prisoner. I never said what I said is that I don't know anybody who would be that loyal to a franchise that he literally sits through 3 major rebuilds before he has to get out.
I know why. I know why.
Because they're paying him.
They paying him. They made him the highest paid football player ever. The day he didn't even take a snap and was the highest paid football player. They made him that.
And that was before the rookie contract.
And the only guy that really challenged him, they threw his ass out of town. So I don't necessarily think that the offensive coordinators was the biggest problem with the teams why they was firing them. I think it was the cover up to keep from. I think it was a cover up to keep from bashing number 9. And matter of fact, just to throw an added caveat, that's the only thing wrong with Jameson Williams. Take off that bad luck ass number 9, and I bet he started catching every damn pass. But that's it.
Okay.
That's a stretch. I think Bobby hurt himself on that stretch. The last second there.
Yeah, that number 9 is bad luck.
That number 9 is going to be in the Lions Ring of Honor at the end of his career. Mark it down because it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
So we said, okay, so this is, I'm finna look at both you guys. So the one, we talked about, Elijah talked about Matthew Stafford being upright his first, 4 years? So Matthew Stafford in his first year was sacked 24 times. Second year was 4. Third year was 36.
Because he got hurt, right?
Because he got hurt. You can't count that.
He got hurt. His third year was 36. His fourth year was 29. His fifth year was 23. Keep in mind, those sack totals outside of the 36, Matthew Stafford was still, when they talked about sacks of quarterbacks, the Lions offensive line had them around 15. So he wasn't.
Right now, Jaredgoff has got the number 1.
I know, but wait. We're talking about back then now.
Okay.
So now here's the thing. Along with these sacks, these is the numbers that Matthew Stafford put up. First year, 2000, he had 2,267 yards, 13 touchdowns, 20 interceptions.
Damn.
Second year,
God damn.
535 yards. That year he started out, he was 6 touchdowns to 1 interception.
He was hurt. He got hurt.
Third year, 5,000 yards, 538 yards. 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Next year, 4,970 yards. But 20 touchdowns, 17 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Next year,
that's a lot.
4,750 yards, 29 touchdowns, 19 interceptions.
God damn.
Next year, 4,300 yards, 22 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
Mhm.
So that's my only thing about that when we talk about him being upright is a lot of people wanted to like say, oh, he didn't have an offensive line. That's why I brought that up because to me that was fool's gold. Because
can't hold the ball without the offensive line.
Right. But not only that,
line.
not only that, during this time, these 5 years, his first 5 seasons, him and Aaron Rodgers were both playing.
Mhm.
Aaron Rodgers was sacked 100 more times than Matthew Stafford was.
Right, but I guess what I'm getting at is because I said first 3 years. First 3 years,
I don't count the second year because he was hurt.
But that's what I'm saying though. Is like, okay, so Aaron Rodgers got sacked more. That's fine. Aaron Rodgers though did not suffer a season-ending injury because of a sack. Is what I'm getting at. Aaron kept getting hit for sure, no doubt about that. But Matthew's the one that had the more significant hits. But
remember, Matthew Stafford, besides that, now that one hit was crucial. And Mosley totally killed him. I totally agree. Mosley killed him, which is why he was a Lion the very next year. And they put him next to Ndamukong Suh. But that also was one of the things about Matthew Stafford. That injury is one of the things that plagued him through his entire career was him holding on to the ball too long.
Uh-huh.
So to me, that's one where the offensive line takes the blunt of it. But you say, dude, instead of you throw the ball away or you just chuck it up in the middle, you know, and so a lot of his stuff. So we can look at the yards. Yes, nobody would ever say Matthew Stafford did not have a cannon. He had the golden arm. We knew this for all the yards. But when you think about it, he had 1 year where he threw over 40 touchdowns. He had 1 year where he threw over 30.
Yeah. I don't even think he ever had a quarterback rating higher than 90 for the longest time he was in Detroit.
For the longest time he didn't. Now when Jim Caldwell came, he simplified that. So he made sure to, go over to help Matthew Stafford because again, he challenged him to be better.
Because then nobody else wanted to be the coach. That the one dude said, I don't even want to even take the meeting.
Ken Wisenhunt. Yeah, Ken Wisenhunt said he didn't want to be bothered with it.
Yeah, Jim Caldwell had to be the only one that wanted to even coach dude. But don't nobody remember that.
Well,
nobody want to be bothered with that.
Okay, now hold on now.
But here's what's funny about this though. Like if y'all look at what I said.
No, I got you. I'm just going through it.
Me and Bobby are saying the same shit.
The same thing.
Coming at me like I said something.
No. You guys are on the same thing. No, I'm just saying what I wrote down.
Not really, because he got all the coordinators fired. So
right. I'm about to get to the coordinators. So these are the statements from coordinators.
Lombardi. I know you're reading Lombardi. Please read Lombardi.
Lombardi's first thing Lombardi said was that Matthew Stafford could not handle the playbook in depth. So he had to simplify a lot of the play calls and a lot of the plays so that Matthew Stafford can manage it better.
And got fired 6 days later.
Yes, he did. Now,
after saying that.
Scott Linehan, as we know.
He was good. He was good with it.
And he was good with it. And he got fired too.
Yeah.
And then he went to Dallas. And then Dallas had the number one offense for like 3 years in a row.
I forgot about that.
So he said was that the way he wanted to call plays, the Lions did not have enough skilled players to do it due to the fact of we put too much money into one position.
Right. I would agree with that.
Right. So I'm saying, but that's what he said. Jim Bob Cooter. I was never a fan of Cooter because for one,
Stafford was.
Dude, you broke in somebody's house. You broke in their house and was ass naked on their couch. So now, but here's the thing. So that's just Stafford, but we're not going to sit here and act like Jaredgoff is off the hook. Jared, when you compare Matthew Stafford's time here versus Jaredgoff's time in a Rams jersey, both being #1 picks, when you're just talking about talent itself, Matthew Stafford hands down.
Oh, right. For sure.
Like, if you're talking about
for sure. Yeah, for sure. I'm talking about actually quarterbacking though.
Yeah. So keep in mind now, Jaredgoff was limited with what he was allowed to do.
Right.
Due to the fact that they said, hey, you are a game manager. You don't have the big arm strength, so we're unable to stretch the field the way that we like.
Right.
So what we're going to do, we're going to lean on this running game. We're going to lean on Todd Gurley. The year they went to the Super Bowl, yes, Jaredgoff was a quarterback, but the AP Offensive Player of the Year and MVP was Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Who? Doing that playoff
Brandon
run.
Cook still making money off of Goff, though. Brandon Cook still making money off of Jaredgoff.
Now, doing that playoff run, Todd Gurley got hurt. The Rams did try to lean on Jaredgoff, and it didn't work. So they turned around, and they got another guy paid by the guy by the name of C.J. Anderson.
Yep.
Who had an amazing run through the playoffs and got him paid and got them to that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So Jaredgoff, again, it's one of those where if Jaredgoff had the type of green light that Matthew Stafford had, would his numbers or would his production be better? Would if this team, with all the weapons, because people swear now we didn't have weapons, but you had Brandon Pettigrew, you had Nate Burleson, you had Golden Tate, you had Calvin.
They was bomb. They was bomb.
No, look.
Was bomb.
Right. And Golden Tate had a record year. Brandon Pettigrew had a record year. Nate Burleson, I give him credit, had more catches and more yards than he ever had when he played with Matthew Stafford. So he had weapons, but he also had the interceptions where, because we had one of the greatest wide receivers in the history, especially of that era, where he just chucked it up to the deuces.
Yeah. Overthrowed him till he retired.
Right. But so now, do you guys think this team goes further, especially 2011, 2014? Do those teams go further with Jaredgoff versus Matthew Stafford? Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes.
Eli.
Well, I'm gonna lean on what I said earlier, which is you can have somebody with all the God-given ability in the world, but you also need to have stability around that person. Those teams were successful. I'm not trying to say anything about the talent around them. I'm not going for excuses. That's what I'm not.
I'm with you.
But he, like I said, Stafford didn't really ever have the stability that Goff has now. He's got a competent coach. He's got a competent GM. Jim Caldwell was more than a competent coach. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is the other person.
He's the only one that won the Stafford.
But what I'm saying is he's the only person that challenged Stafford. I agree with Bobby on that. But I will also say he is the only person in that leadership that actually had competence.
So here's my question for you now.
But to answer your question, because I don't want to dodge your question, Jaredgoff, I think for that team, I don't know that he would have been successful. The reason why I say that is because at that point in time, I mean, everybody likes to believe, right? Anybody can throw the ball to Calvin and it's going to be successful. Do you forget that we tried that, fellas? Dante Culpepper, Dan Orlovsky, John Kitna, Sean Hill. None of those guys were that successful, and they were just the everyday man, game manager, quarterback. I don't know that Jaredgoff would have had that much fun throwing it to Calvin.
So, but here's the thing. Okay, so now My next question was,
I say I challenge that with saying that Jaredgoff would have hit Calvin Johnson on stride a lot more.
A lot like he's hit JMO on stride? Like, do we
No.
But,
I really want.
but keep
I
in
really want
mind
to.
now,
I really want to go there
faster than
because
Calvin. Jamo's way faster than Calvin.
And not only this too, when you got a bazooka, it do matter where it aims. So it matters. So I'm gonna say,
man,
ain't no guarantee. Hey, the numbers show that Jaredgoff is 10 times more accurate than Matthew Stafford, and that's even throwing the deep ball.
I'm not saying
so. I don't know why is it that hard.
Well, I'll
hard
say
to
this. Hold on. This is what I will say. I will say this. If you had Jaredgoff, Calvin doesn't have as many highlight games as he does with Matthew Stafford.
And here's the other thing to think about. And this is actually a compliment to Jaredgoff. I don't know if Bobby's going to take it that way or not, but this is a compliment
how
to
you say
Jaredgoff. This is a compliment to Jaredgoff. Matthew Stafford was on a team with a lot of personalities, right? Those teams had a lot of people that were kind of outspoken, and Stafford was the one that didn't say shit. He was always the company man. Goff, I don't know. Like, he fits in well with those blue-collar guys, those guys that have a chip on their shoulders. Yeah. And Ndamukong Suh never had a chip on his shoulder. Like, he knew he was a beast because everybody told that guy, you are a beast. He knew that. He was an alpha. Calvin, even though Calvin was humble, Calvin was an alpha. I don't know. Again, this is all hypothetical because we're never going to see it happen.
Right.
I don't know that Jaredgoff is the leader that he is in this locker room, which he is fantastic in this locker room. I don't know if he is that way in a room full of alphas when everybody's trying to pull the thing in its own direction.
Great point, Eli. Great point.
But I also agree. It's about moments, though. It's moments. Like, let me throw one out there. Calvin Johnson getting guarded like a damn punt return, and you still can't find nobody open. Like, it's moments in the game. Right. Me personally, I see Jaredgoff finding someone other than Calvin Johnson as he continues.
Which is part of the bigger problem.
And because he overdid.
So I think, but you know what? I think I don't know. That's why I say we don't see them highlights. We don't see Calvin catching it over 6 Cowboys. We don't see him catching it over 4 Bengals.
And so, but there's no precision in that. There's no precision in that. Those are up for grab passes. There's no precision.
Right. No. That's what I'm saying. So because of that, that's why I say Calvin doesn't have the highlights that he has. Now, his numbers are Calvin is Calvin. The dude had 1,500 yards catching the ball from Reggie Ball. So,
hey now. You take that back, sir.
Hey, I'm just saying.
I'm not about that Reggie Ball disrespect.
So now, but here's the thing. Reason is because I've seen people say that Calvin, the reason why I brought that up is because I've seen people say Calvin would not be as good if he did not have Matthew Stafford.
No, I disagree with that whole.
That's a lie.
We know that. No, I'm saying, but this is why I brought it up. I mean, people who, when you actually follow players, not just our team, but as we do, which as we gonna get started next week into our prospect scouting and prospect watch, we look at guys all the way from college. We look at the systems they're in, who's throwing them the ball, what routes they can run, what routes they cannot run, where they struggle. Are they catching it with their hands or are they body catchers? Whatever. We go deeper into it than the casual. So a lot of casuals who are, I'm not even going to say Matthew Stafford fanboys, they are Matthew Stafford enthusiasts. But again, they have good reason because the Lions have not had a quarterback as good as Matthew Stafford in their entire history.
Yeah.
So again, I give them that. But to put that over the value of a generational talent by the name of Calvin Johnson, when you say, hey, if you put Calvin Johnson back in the draft right now, if he
Number
was
one
as
still.
a 21-year-old wide receiver coming out of Georgia Tech,
oh yeah,
Number one still.
number one.
would he still go number one?
Well, he went
Yes.
number two.
So keep in mind.
Number one.
Wait a minute. So keep in mind. So I'm talking about from 2023 all the way to 2000. When he come in 2007, when he first came in the league, would he still be the number one wide receiver taken off at any draft class?
Hell yeah.
Okay, now, so that makes him generational, correct?
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
So you put Matthew Stafford back in the draft class from now to 2000 and when was it? 5?
7. It was 2008.
2008. Would Matthew Stafford be the first?
Sorry, 2009.
2009, yeah, 2009. So all the way to 2009, would Matthew Stafford be the first
from now to
quarterback
2009? From now to 2009.
Yes.
No, he would not.
So remember, right, that's what I'm saying. So you're looking at the quarterbacks that have been taken first or have been taken, that actually we're going to say in that first 10, the order of first quarterbacks taken. Have any of them been better than Matthew Stafford coming out of college?
Andrew Luck was better than Matthew Stafford.
Okay, we got Luck for sure. So now you look at Mitch Trubisky coming out of college.
No.
I didn't say Chicago. Coming out of college, Eli, was Mitch Trubisky better at UNC than Matthew Stafford was at Georgia?
No.
So I would say no, but I feel like I need to add to that answer a little bit. So I'm going to take the liberty of doing that. The thing with Stafford at Georgia, and I know this because I lived down there at the time frame.
I wanted to because you know where I was going to go.
So here's the thing. He pissed people off in Georgia the same way he does with Detroit. Because every year, Georgia was like, we're winning the damn natty. Go ahead and write it on the trophy. We're going to hold up that crystal ball. Oh, wait, 7-5. Oh, wait, 7-5. Oh, we won 8 games. Look out.
Preseason number 1.
Like that. But so he did the same shit.
But that's why I asked. Because a lot of people, that's why I'm glad. Let me see how many people we got watching.
Right AJ Green. AJ Green.
Right now. I know we got a bunch of people watching. And a lot of people don't know that history. So, like, when you think about it, Matthew Stafford wasn't even a unanimous number 1 at that point. Because can you say he was better than Matt Leinart at USC?
Well,
no, that was Matt Sanchez. That was Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez. Yeah.
Mark Sanchez, my bad.
I would say yes, but I think that is because of the fact that you had 2 programs at the time. Georgia hadn't really had a heyday in a while. Like, let's just be honest about that. They hadn't been a big deal, but every year they thought they were going to be a big deal. But USC was coming off of a time frame where they were a big deal.
A big fucking deal.
So for me, I felt like those were. Let me finish real quick. For me, those two programs were both kind of in a little bit of a lull as far as expectations versus reality for them. And so if I had to take Mark Sanchez or Matt Stafford, I would have taken Matt Stafford because I like his upside more than Mark Sanchez. I will say, though, Mark Sanchez got done dirty in New York. He got done dirty. Everybody remembers the butt fumble. Nobody remembers the AFC Championship game he took them to.
So that's what I'm saying because I think.
But here go my butt though. But this what a lot of people don't remember about that draft with Stafford and Sanchez was that Pete Carroll came out and said that he didn't think that Sanchez was ready, and that was Sanchez's biggest knock in the draft. That his own coach said he was not ready. But if I feel like if Pete Carroll was more behind him, like they were behind, he would have been the first pick in the draft. I really do that.
Okay, there you go. Now that's where I was going to go because when you think about what they did in the bowl game. Because remember, Matthew Stafford actually best game was against Michigan State in the bowl game. Completely blew them out the water, and they were Big Ten champions, made a run. And Matthew Stafford threw some stuff, and he got Muhammad Massaquoi drafted.
Yep. And No Sean Marino, who was a
No
bad
Sean
dude.
Marino. Hey, No Sean was my guy. No Sean was my guy because I loved his name. No Sean, get your no. Say no, but so that's where I look at it at. But so now when you look at when you put these guys in, you can say Stafford, you say Sanchez, you say Jaredgoff, you say Trubisky, Pat Mahomes was taken top 10.
Shit, Joe Burrow? He ain't better than Joe Burrow.
I know, no, that's what I'm saying. Andrew Luck.
Oh.
Joe Burrow. So you have these guys. And so this is why, only reason I bring it up, because when people say that Matthew Stafford made Calvin Johnson, that's why I sit here, and that's what I'm saying. I just don't know how they could do it. I mean, like I said, you catching passes from
comment. That is a straight up comment from anybody that does that. But I will say this. I will say this about Stafford, all right? I know that we want to look at Stafford versus everybody else that came after Stafford. But it would be a disservice to Stafford to not identify the fact that
he was the best in that draft.
I'm not even going there. Not just the fact that the draft changed, because Stafford was one of the last, if not the last quarterback to get an ungodly amount of money to start for the team. Because after the whole Jamarcus Russell debacle,
Sam Bradford, I remember Sam Bradford too.
Sam Bradford, I think, was the last one. But
Sam Bradford was.
But I'm just saying,
and they were mad because they wanted Bradford. They actually thought Bradford was going to come out, and he did not come out.
Right.
Because
I'm just saying that the draft itself changed after Stafford was drafted. And the league changed as well. What was the big thing about Andrew Luck versus RG3? The fact that both of them could throw the ball, but more importantly, they were both mobile quarterbacks. Nobody's looking at Stafford for mobility. Nobody's looking at Mark Sanchez for mobility.
RG3 was a dummy too.
But I'm just saying, like, nobody's looking at Jamarcus Russell for his mobility.
No.
That was a...
And it's so funny. Do you know that the scouting report and what they said about Jamarcus Russell, and they still drafted him? Like, that was a blessing. Like, it was, you know the crazy part? Let's say the Oakland Raiders do take Calvin Johnson. I still don't think we take Jamarcus Russell. I think we take Patrick Willis.
We don't take Jamarcus Russell because of what happened when Jamarcus Russell came on his visit. Because
they wasn't taking Jamarcus Russell anyway.
But
I think we still would have had a generational player. We still would have had the best linebacker you've seen, physically dominant in a very long time, who retired early.
But the thing is, for folks who don't remember this story, and I know both of these fellows do because I just told it not that long ago, Matt Millen invited Jamarcus Russell for his pre-draft visit. On the visit, Jamarcus Russell kept looking at his watch. Matt Millen got offended. Hey, wait a minute. You got somewhere else better to be?
Yeah, that was crazy.
He Jamarcus Russell out of his office, called Al Davis, and said, Al, I love you. I love the Raiders. I know we're competitors, but I'm telling you, do not pick this kid. And I believe at the time it was Lane Kiffin. I misspoke a few shows ago when I said it was Josh McDaniels. It was not Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, it was Lane Kiffin. I remember.
Lane Kiffin.
He fired him.
Lane Kiffin wanted them to pick Calvin Johnson. That's what he wanted.
Yes, he did.
And Al Davis said, no, we are going to get Jamarcus Russell and we are going to just win, baby. And because of the contract and the contract holdout and other crap that happened for Jamarcus Russell, it never worked out. It never worked out. But we dodged a bullet on that, and Matt Millen is not given enough credit for that. Now,
I
granted,
totally agree. Yes, the hell he did. That kid, man, for like and I never understood the in awe of Jamarcus Russell, because even when I seen him in college, I said, dude, this dude's like a fucking double wide trailer.
it was the
like dog
throw from his knee. That was what it was
but still,
about.
but his pocket presence was so pathetic.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like it was just like, oh my God. So this is where we're at. We're in love with arms.
He was eye candy because of that.
I don't know how. Shit, he was a king size Milky Way. Goddamn, that's the type of candy he was.
The thing that I felt the worst about, and I don't mean to turn this into a Jamarcus Russell hour because I know we're over time, but
are we? Look, we rolling now.
But the thing is, with Jamarcus Russell, the thing that I felt bad about was when he tried to make his comeback, because they made a television show for YouTube out of his comeback to the NFL.
I remember that.
They didn't even get a whole season worth of episodes in before they yanked the shit on that one. And the thing is, he sent a letter. He sent a letter to every team in the league saying, just let me on your practice squad. And let me tell you something right now. Ain't nobody going to take that letter seriously. What you need to do is humble yourself and go and play one of these other leagues, like Canadian Football League, indoor football.
Right, show them some type of effort. You got all that money. His contract was ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Change the game.
Ridiculous.
Change the game.
I think that was the worst first quarterback taken than Ryan Leaf.
I would agree. Because I think he had more arm talent than Ryan Leaf.
Yeah, but Ryan Leaf just didn't have the right coach. Ryan Leaf was like, a guy that I love that don't get no credit at all, was Jake Plummer. Jake the Snake Plummer.
Jake Plummer. Jake Snake.
And that's what Ryan Leaf could do in college. He was able to extend plays and find guys, and he wasn't going to outrun you, but he could always make the first guy miss, and then make a play. But it was like the pressure from Eli. Eli did this. Eli is the reason why his career was dog shit.
You mean Peyton?
No, or was that Eli? Which one? No, wait.
It was Peyton. Peyton and Ryan were the two that year.
Okay, yeah. So it was Peyton. Yeah, and he said, I'm not going there. And yeah, you're right. And then Eli came back and did it too.
Right.
Like, don't draft me because I'm not going.
Because he saw what they did to Ryan.
Yeah, I'm not going. So it ain't no point in y'all drafting me. And like, you had the sexy pick versus the country boy with the accent. And, Peyton Manning, it was another one, another gunslinger. I think Peyton Manning threw the most interceptions a season that I think anybody ever did.
Yeah, he broke the rookie record.
Dog, that dude threw almost 40 interceptions. I said, God damn. Hey,
I think it was like 29.
No, it was 30-something. It was 30-something.
It was 28. What was the total?
28?
28, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
One year he had 30. I know for sure 1 year he had 30.
But I will say this. Jamarcus Russell, had he actually done anything in the league, I hate to say this, but I think he would have been like we always talk about ceiling, right? I think ceiling for Jamarcus Russell, and it was a player that came out just a few years before him.
Dante Culpepper?
No, hell no. Don't disrespect Dante like that. I'm talking about Jay Cutler. Because Jay Cutler.
No, not that.
No. Hear me out, though. Jay Cutler had all the arm strength in the world. Everybody loved all the throws that Jay Cutler can make.
I don't know how. It was always a drunk arm.
But Jay Cutler never gave a shit enough to actually use his God-given ability. And that, to me, is Jamarcus Russell.
Jay Cutler was a bum.
And so was Jamarcus Russell.
True. But them two, I couldn't even compare them to
I'm just saying, Jay Cutler at the very least would show up on Sunday having watched game film. They gave a blank DVD to Jamarcus
Yeah, but he
Russell
wasn't
and
sober
said,
when he
"Go
watched
study."
it.
They gave a blank DVD to Jamarcus Russell, said, "Go watch it. We got plays on there for this week." He comes back the next day of practice. They said, "Hey, did you watch that DVD?" He said, "Yeah, man, I love it. Let's do it." He said, Jamarcus, that DVD was blank.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
That's a
That
true
was a stupid
story.
mother.
They
That's
dirty
a
for
true
that.
story.
Verified.
That's on YouTube. That's a true story. But
Hey,
but
Vic threw
Jay
his
Cutler,
playbook in the trunk for the
Hey.
Cowboys.
hey, but Jay Cutler was never like, I never seen a dude drunk before he even got on the field.
But that's
Like, dude.
Like I feel like if Jamarcus would have been in the league, he would have been frustrating for whatever franchise he was with, like Jay Cutler, because they would have always been talking about how great his arm strength is, but he's out there like he don't give a shit.
I think Sue loved hitting Jay Cutler.
Oh my God! I remember the one time he hit him so rough, it was legal. They still threw the flag, man.
All thing he did was push him.
So
He
I got a
just pushed him
question.
down.
I got a question before we get to closing remarks, and I think this is a good one. And we got a lot of people, by the way, watching right now. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for us. We greatly appreciate it. So my question is, we talked about comparing things that are unfortunately never going to happen, the classic hypothetical situation. I got a hypothetical.
Okay.
Lions versus Lions. On one team, you have God-given ability. On the other team, you've got blue-collar talent. So the blue-collar talent team is going to be everybody we currently have on the roster.
Okay.
And the God-given ability is going to be all of Detroit's, Hall of Famers. And most importantly for our conversation, Ndamukong Suh, Darius Slay, Matthew Stafford.
So wait a minute, we putting this here team against the team that lost in Dallas?
No,
Is that what basically
that's not what I'm doing. I'm saying God-given ability versus blue-collar talent. Blue-collar talent is this year's squad in its entirety.
Well, here's the thing. Oh wait, so this year is blue collar. Okay,
this year's blue collar.
But that God-given ability team, I don't think no team in the NFL beats them.
But here's the thing, though, because I want to ask this, because like this goes to the conversation we were having.
I know. I don't think they lose a game.
Calvin, Barry, Matthew, Darius Slay, Ndamukong Suh, and whoever else you want to put on that team.
Nobody beats that team. Literally, because by me, nobody beats that team because
who the quarterback?
Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford.
So Barry Sanders a receiver now? He's a receiver.
No. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. When you talking about that, you still have Calvin Johnson. You have Herman Moore. You got Charlie Sanders.
Yep.
Then you have Barry. Then you talk about that line. Kevin Glover, Lomas Brown, Dominic Raiola. And people may not understand it, but Jeff Backus was a dog, with a pure dog at tackle. And you put Jeff Backus in there with another guy giving guard. I'm going to give them, even though they didn't keep him long, but you give him Warford. You give him Larry Warford.
Yeah.
On that offensive line.
Why didn't we pay Larry Warford again? Somebody
because we had a dumbass front office, and then he left and went to the Pro Bowl the very next year with New Orleans.
Wasn't Larry Warford all pro as a rookie, right?
I want a final score prediction. Yeah. I want a final score prediction. God-given ability versus the grit team. Let's
God-given ability.
Bobby first.
Because
I know Bobby loves the blue collar guys. That's why I'm
going for the blue collar team. As long as Matthew Stafford's on the other team, defense, keep your hands ready. Fuck.
What final score?
Because he do score a lot of points in garbage time. So
garbage time.
30. Stafford is best at his best in garbage time. 31-24 or some shit like that.
All right, Nathan, bring us back to earth.
Dog.
Oh,
The
man.
garbage time.
38. Hey,
Garbage time, a
listen.
motherfucker.
Listen, 38-10 generation gifted.
All right. I think this game will go to overtime. I'm gonna say just based
Barry
on the
Sanders has
offenses
150
alone.
yards receiving.
Just based on the
Hey,
offenses
no,
alone.
but it's not even that. The killer part is you got at linebacker. You got DeAndre Levy.
Yep.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Chris Spielman right there. You can put Stephen Tulloch.
Yep.
Right there. Or if you don't go Stephen Tulloch, you can go Reggie Brown or you can go Chris Claiborne at linebacker. At corner.
And still a pick six away from the.
Hey,
so I don't even
no,
care.
but what I'm saying
I
is,
don't even care.
Hey, no, but what I'm saying is everything over the middle is it's fucked up. And then you talking about corner, you got Slay, Dre Bly. At safety, you got Benny Blades and a younger Glover Quinn.
What about Night Train?
And see, but here's the thing. I haven't got there because Night Train, back then, Night Train was actually a corner who they moved to safety. So you keep Night Train to play the slot. So across the corner, you got Night Train, Slay, Dre Bly, and then on your back end, you got lights out. Like, dude, I don't know who you think they're going to...
Calvin.
With Ndamukong Suh, think about it. You got Ndamukong Suh and Jerry Ball in the goddamn middle with Robert Porcher on one side, and you can put Ziggy Ansah or Cliff Averill on the other side.
All I gotta say is,
man,
respectfully against our gritty defense.
I feel bad for Jaredgoff. Respectfully, I feel bad for Amon-Ra.
The gritty defense we have. Calvin about to get 500 yards. Barry about to have 1,000, and Stafford about to be on the bench for Bobby Lane.
Can I ask you this question? Can I ask you this question though?
Hey,
how many
Jameer,
Stafford throwing in this game?
Hey, Jameer, David Montgomery, they getting killed.
Body bag.
How many interceptions do Stafford throw
in that game?
Hey,
about
it 4. Don't even matter.
About 4, but he also has 19 touchdowns against Jerry Jacobs. I'm just saying.
Shit, or Jerry Jacobs can jump up and intercept the ball from Calvin, like what's his name, Brent Grimes.
No, that was a once in a lifetime thing. He ain't got them hands. He ain't got them hands.
So it's pick six. Stafford pick six.
He's always a pick six away.
But he don't he do it the most ever?
Yeah,
don't he do it the most ever?
Listen,
so that don't equate nowhere in this.
Hey, then there's the crazy part though.
That might be the only way Team Grit gets any points is on the pick six.
Listen.
That's the only.
And then I could be even dirtier.
That's the only way we lost. That's the only reason why we lost to Dallas.
I could be even dirtier because we're talking about just God-given talent instead of Charlie Sanders.
Give me Eric Kramer.
Hey, listen. And instead of Charlie Sanders at tight end, I give him Matthew Stafford's second favorite option and Joseph Fourier. And not one of these linebackers or cornerbacks could do nothing with his big ass.
I thought it was Charles Woodson was his second favorite
option. You better stop it. You better stop it now.
I'm talking about a tight end.
I'm just talking about people getting the ball.
Hey, listen. Hey, look, I can see Joseph Fourier right now doing a bye-bye dance in the end zone with motherfucking Anzalone at his waist.
Oh man! All right, so here's the deal.
I'd rather see Barry Sanders on third and long than Stafford.
Jason Frick is telling us 45-41 talent team. That's what he's picking. But I just thought that'd be fun.
That would be fun. But
we do have a game
you.
this weekend. We neglected to talk about the game at all, but I'll just throw it up for final scores.
It's the Bears anyway.
It's the Bears.
Right. Ain't nothing to talk about with that.
I mean, it's more exciting to talk about team God-given ability versus team grit. Like
yes.
That's how much I feel about
the Bears.
Absolutely not. Bears final score, and we'll get to closing remarks. Bobby.
I don't know the final score of the Bears game, but I'm willing to bet we have more first downs than they have points. So, 100-0, Lions.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we're going to have more first downs than they got points.
Hey. I just got a lot to a little.
Yeah. We're going to have more first downs than they got points.
Dude, they are bad.
So I've got this game. It should be a blowout, and I'm not going to say to the contrary. I'm going to say 31-10 Lions. I think Jaredgoff has a great day. I think the running backs have a great day. And the only thing y'all got to watch out for is the wind. That's the only thing y'all got, because I believe
the quarterback.
This one's at Soldier Field, if I'm not mistaken.
The quarterback coming back?
No, Justin Fields, he's done. I doubt if you see him throw another down for Chicago.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think he goes with the coach.
Oh yeah, we good then.
So this game's actually at home. It's at Ford Field. So I'm gonna
up my score. That's almost like the win.
I'm gonna up my score 38-10. 38-10. I was gonna go 31. I'm gonna go 38-10. The fellas should take this one seriously, but go out there and handle the business the way they're supposed to. That's
Campbell got that. He's gonna get them together with that.
Before we do closing remarks, I'm gonna go first here, then I'm gonna toss it to Bobby, toss it to Nate, toss it to me. Okay. So I am not gonna be here the next 2 episodes of the On the Hunt podcast. Nothing is wrong, but I am taking a much needed vacation to go down to Georgia, visit my family. And while I'm down there, I will actually be catching the very first Georgia Tech game I have ever gotten a chance to go to. So I am very excited about that. They're going to be taking on Syracuse this weekend at 8 o'clock on ACC Network. Maybe you might see me and my family.
Look, they got a chance to win that one too.
I think so. And then one more note on my Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets while I got you here. This was interesting. They announced yesterday that Georgia Tech, Georgia is going to be on ABC at 7:30 on the 25th of November. Now, why is that interesting? This has not been a night game for the last 10 years. And usually when Georgia is ranked as high as they are, they usually will bury this game at noon and just get it over with, okay? And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful to my own team, but that's just how it's been the last couple of years. So I think that ABC believes this is going to be a much better game than people give it credit for. So I'm going to dare to say my Yellow Jackets beat Syracuse like they're supposed to. And then I think they give a hell of a game to Georgia, maybe even surprising Georgia, because Georgia this year, they have had their blowouts. They have had their blowouts. But they've also had a lot of games where they let teams stay in it for far too long, and they relied on the other team making the critical error. I also said at the beginning of the year that the one game I saw Georgia losing was this weekend against Tennessee. So I got Georgia losing to Tennessee and then losing to Georgia Tech. They should have never, ever, ever put those 2 rivalry games back to back like that. They never usually do. Usually they spread out those games, but they put them back to back on the back end of their schedule. Yeah, they're competing for an SEC championship, but that's going to be the only championship ring, I believe, this season for Georgia. But with that, let's go to closing remarks. Bobby, bless.
Yeah, I hope you have a good vacation, Elijah. You do deserve one, man. You a guy that wear many hats. Sometimes it's hard to pry ourselves away from the work, but just enjoy your vacation and don't worry about work. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, even when we away from work, we still worried about it. They just let's just pray they can survive without you. Us too. But make a long story short, man. Vacations are good, man. Sometimes you need to just be able to not be around, not be the guy everything depend on so much. Like so, you just that alone, and not being able to wake up without an alarm goes a long way, brother. So that's also good.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and and I don't know if we're gonna have an episode next week or not because it's gonna be so close to Thanksgiving. But Nate, I'm available to do lives whenever you let me know. I'll keep a schedule with that. And the main thing, happy Thanksgiving to you guys, just in case we don't get the popcorn.
Yeah, and I gotta think about that because I've got. Oh man, I've got.
You got all that barbecue to do, don't you? You got all that.
I just thought about it, man. I've got a bunch of barbecuing to do, and I'm working both jobs. So I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, but just keep me posted, man. I'm always available. For real.
Right, for
But
sure.
Walmart gonna be working the shit out of me, but I'm probably get drunk on the night before Thanksgiving though. Me and the missus going out on the town.
Nate, closing remarks, my friend.
Closing remarks, man. Just make sure you get to your destination the same way that you're leaving. You, Cassandra. Yeah. I don't know if y'all taking Slinky or not, but like I say, man, just make it there safe, make it back safe. And let's move on to get another victory.
Of course, y'all taking Slinky, right? Of course,
no, we're
right?
not. We're not actually. We're not.
See?
Oh my God! Damn.
Southwest, man. Southwest. I can't do that to Slinky.
Oh yeah, in the little cage under the plane. So yeah. So like I say, so we gonna say 8-2 on the closeout. That's it.
All right. Well, hey, for Reggie Funches, for Bobby Bless, the #1 Lions fan, Bobby Bless. For defensive coordinator Nate Rucker, I'm Elijah Winfrey. I believe we'll have a show for you next week. I hope we're able to fit one in. But hey,
I'm gonna go live at least. I'm gonna go live or something.
Happy Thanksgiving. I will see you on the other side after my Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets shock the world.
Oh Lord.
That's right, my friends.
Lord
that's right.
Jesus.
Man, they're gonna be shocked on Mars. They're gonna be shocked on Jupiter.
Until next time. Hey, be good to yourself.